Very good afternoon, dear students. So today we will continue with our concepts with regard to network synthesis. In the last class, we had talked about Hurwitz polynomial, and we had seen that what are the conditions for a polynomial to be called as Hurwitz polynomial. We had seen the necessary conditions which will help us in identifying whether a given polynomial is Hurwitz or not. And we had seen one or two numerical examples also, whether uh, a particular polynomial qualifies as a Hurwitz polynomial or not. Just to hurriedly brief I'll move 2-3 slides back so that you are able to just review that, and then we will see one or two more examples related to Hurwitz polynomial. And the reason behind that discussion of additional example is I have tried to incorporate those examples which will give you some you can say more insight into the solution of numericals related to Hurwitz polynomial. So that way these are not only the numericals, these will also clarify your concepts related to Hurwitz polynomial. So if I move back, so this is what we had talked about Hurwitz polynomial, that your PS is real when S is real, and another is that roots of the real part are to be 0 or negative. And we had seen that Hurwitz polynomial can have three types of roots: your real and positive, then imaginary only, and your S equal to minus sigma plus j omega. Then we had talked about necessary but not sufficient condition. So these are simple conditions that we will look into at the starting point. If any of these condition is not met, we can directly say Hurwitz polynomial is not there. Whereas if these conditions are satisfied, then we move to necessary and sufficient condition, where we had used the concept of continued fraction expansion, and the quotients of those continued fraction expansion that was required to be positive. If those quotients are real and positive, we could say that your polynomial is Hurwitz polynomial. So this was just to brief you, and we had seen three examples. In fact, I had given you these three questions for your homework also. I hope all of you must have been able to do these numericals. Fine. So now we continue further. So this is our first numerical related to Hurwitz polynomial, where we have to check whether the given polynomial is Hurwitz or not. Okay. So students, as I told you that I'll try to highlight some different aspect in each of the numerical. So what is the peculiar thing in this numerical is that, if you remember in the previous class, the numericals we had seen, they were all having the degree as even degree, like s raised power 4, s raised power 6. So uh, in this example, we have a polynomial starting with odd degree, so that is s raised power 5, and 5 is an odd number. So that is the peculiar thing here. Now let us see that this is the polynomial. I told you that first we have to check with necessary conditions. So those necessary conditions are fulfilled, all the powers are present, all the roots are your positive, there is no negative root, and roots are sorry, the coefficients are real. Okay, now we have to move to sufficient conditions in order to declare this polynomial as Hurwitz polynomial. And we had seen that we have to split the given polynomial in two, that is your even part, even powered you can say terms, and your odd powered terms. So here we have ms, that is even terms, that is 3 s4 plus 4s square plus 1, and ns is your odd powered terms, where we have s raised power 5 plus 3s cube plus s. Okay, so one peculiar thing related to this numerical I told you. Another peculiar thing, another thing is, I told you in the previous class that the continued fraction will be obtained through the ratio, that is ms upon s ns. And in those examples, we had the even power greater than your odd power. So that's why we had taken ms in the numerator and ns in the denominator. We could have the other thing also as we is taking place in this numerical. So here what we have odd powered terms, degree is higher as compared to your even powered. So in this case what we will have, we will keep ns at the numerator and ms as the denominator. So you have to keep in mind this thing, that in order to apply continued fraction method, the portion of the polynomial that you are checking, uh, that must be kept at the numerator. It must have higher power as compared to your uh, other portion of the numerical to be tested. Okay, so these were the two peculiar things that I wanted to point out related to this numerical. I hope this thing is clear to everybody. Now we have to do nothing else, but we have to apply continued fraction method. So if we do that, you can see here that when we keep on applying, finally we get a zero. And see, just for revision sake, uh, I'm telling you that for ns by ms continued fraction we have to apply. So ns is in the denominator, sorry, as dividend, and your ms is your divisor. So if we divide, the quotient is s by 3. If we solve it, this is the remainder we get. Then this divisor, it becomes dividend for the next division. Okay, so we divide, quotient is 9 by 5 into s, and then we solve it. So this is the remainder that we get. Now this remainder will become the divisor for the next continued fraction term, and this divisor, it will become the dividend here. So then we get this quotient, and when we solve it by subtracting, as we do in normal division, we get this as the remainder. Now this will become divisor, this divisor will become dividend, and this is the quotient that we get. And if we keep on doing like that and we proceed up to, you can say, the constant term, finally the remainder is 0 and we stop here. So once we stop, we will check whether all the quotient terms, they are real and positive. So it is clearly visible that all the terms are positive and real here. So that means the polynomial under consideration can be declared as Hurwitz polynomial. Okay, so I hope this concept is clear to each and everyone. Now let us move to next numerical, where we will have another case. Now here, if you see in the previous numerical, and in fact the other numericals also that we discussed in last class, there we had all the terms present. Here also you can see uh, 5 power, 4 power, 3 power, 2, 1 and 0, all the terms are present. And I told you that in case of your stability and checking the stability or judging the nature of the polynomial, we should either have all the terms present, or either only odd or only even. So in this numerical that I am now considering, I have taken a polynomial where only the odd terms are present. See, all sorry, all even terms are present, all the odd terms are missing. So that way, this polynomial is acceptable because all even terms are present. So let us see what to do in such cases where the polynomial has either all the even terms or all the odd terms. So the method that we will discuss in this numerical, that method will also apply to the polynomial which has all the odd terms present. Keep this thing in mind. So you may come across a numerical where you have all the odd term. So what we will do in such case, that PS is our polynomial which contains only the even terms, and we can call it as even polynomial. So continued fraction here is not ordinary possible. Okay, so because in continued fraction we require, one is the even part and another is the odd part. Since this is even only, there is no odd is existing here. So what to do here, what we will do, we have PS, we will also obtain the derivative of ps, that is p dash s. So if you obtain its derivative, what will you get? You will get 4s cube plus 6x, and this 2 was a constant, so it has become 0. So now we have two polynomials. One is your derivative part and another is the original polynomial. So with these two polynomials, now we will try to find out the continued fraction. So now we apply continued fraction method. So what is the method then? If you have in your polynomial either the even terms or the odd terms, okay, in that case we have one polynomial only. The second polynomial required for your continued fraction method, that will be obtained by derivative of the given polynomial. I hope this thing is clear. So now what we do, the polynomial having lower power, that obviously the derivative will have lower power, that will become divisor. Second polynomial will become dividend. We will divide. This is the quotient. Then we subtract. This is the remainder. So this remainder become divisor for the next term, and this divisor become the dividend. So we again divide, we get a quotient, we subtract the terms, okay, we get 2 by 3s as remainder. Now this remainder will become divisor for the next term, okay, and this divisor, it will become dividend for the next continued fraction term. So if you do that, again you get a quotient. Fine, you do subtraction, this term will be over, then finally you get a constant, then again a quotient, and you get answer as 0, and your continued fraction is stopped. Then we will look at all the, you can say, quotient part, and we can see that all the quotients, they are your positive and real. So that way the given polynomial which was having only the even terms is a Hurwitz polynomial. So I hope this numerical is very clear to each and everyone. So let us move to another numerical. So here, dear students, if you look carefully at the polynomial given, all the terms are present. We have power 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and s raised to power 0. Okay, so it means all the powers are present. Second thing is all the coefficients, they are real and positive. So your necessary conditions are satisfied, but these are not sufficient. So for sufficient condition to be satisfied, we need to use continued fraction method. So for that, we will have to split our polynomial into two. One is your even polynomial, another is your odd polynomial. So here you can see that in MS we have all the even terms present, and in NS we have all the odd term present. So obviously now we will do the continued fraction method. The polynomial which is having a smaller degree, that will act as a divisor, and the even polynomial which is having higher degree will act as dividend. So if you divide the two, you will get the quotient, and then if you subtract things, you will get a remainder. Now this remainder will become divisor for the next term, and this divisor will become dividend. And if you divide, and suddenly something very different happens, you get 0. So if you notice in earlier numericals, when we were doing continued fraction method, what was happening? We were proceeding till the point we had some constant term as divisor. We were proceeding up to that part. In every numerical, you see here it was 1, here we have 2, whereas in the present numerical, we don't have the case. We had 2 s raised to power 6 and we got 0, means it got divided earlier. So it means that your unexpected end of the continued fraction method has taken place, as we were expecting to continue this fraction method up to the constant term, but it didn't. So if such a thing happens, what to do? So in such cases also, the method that we have used for even only even polynomial or odd polynomial, that thing will apply here. Means we will have to apply derivative. Okay, so I'll explain which part of the polynomial will be uh, calculated as derivative, and then how will we continue this fraction which has terminated abruptly. Okay, so if we continue, I hope you have carefully observed it, that our continued fraction method is uh, abruptly terminated. So let us move to next slide. So here, see what we have done. This is what I have again repeated for your reference, that our continued fraction has been abruptly terminated. How to resolve this? See, this is the latest divisor. Okay, we will take this latest divisor as, say, ES. Okay, if you carefully observe, this ES is not same as we are talking about. Why it is not same? See, in this divisor we have a constant 2 multiplied with every term. So if you remove that constant term, because it is not going to do any value addition, that 2 will come in the quotient, and it will be nullified. So that's why the polynomial that we are considering to continue our continued fraction, if there is any constant term in all the terms multiplied, we can remove that. So if we do that, this ES becomes s raised power 6 plus 8s4 plus 19s square plus 12. This is the polynomial that we have identified. Now what we will do, we will differentiate this polynomial, and it becomes E dash S. So this becomes 6s5 32s cube plus 38s. So what we have now two polynomials. One is ES and another is E dash S. Okay, so what does it mean? That, like, in case our continued fraction is abruptly terminated in between, okay, because of zero remainder. So once zero has come, we cannot continue. Okay, we cannot divide by zero by writing this divisor as dividend here. We cannot do that. So if such a case happens, then the latest divisor will be taken as the latest polynomial. Second polynomial will be obtained by differentiating that, and now we will apply the continued fraction approach to these two polynomials. Okay, so this is what we will do. We will obtain continued fraction for ES by E dash S, the way we did for even term example. Okay, so if you see here that if you solve it, then you can do it at your home. You will observe that uh, these are the quotients that you will obtain. Okay, and if you see at these coefficients are your real and positive. Okay, so since this is the case, it means we can declare that the given polynomial is Hurwitz polynomial. Fine. So I hope everybody has understood the concept of your Hurwitz polynomial, and this was all about Hurwitz polynomial. So I pause for a moment here, and I would like to invite doubts, if any, from your side.